Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Syrria. That's Robert Harding. And this is the Citizen Sports Weekly for Thursday, February 12th, 2015. Hope you guys are doing well. We're doing well, aren't we? I'm doing well.
We're making it.
I'm doing very well. It's Thursday. I love Thursdays.
Went to Costco for the first time last week.
Yes, but he didn't get the hot dog.
No.
Or the strawberry sundae. No. Or the rotisserie chicken.
Trying to lose weight, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I know. But, you know.
It's not working too well.
No, it's tough. Hey, it's tough, man. But we'll save the diet tips for another video. We should do a diet tips video someday. People would love it, I'm sure. Not. Anyways, we're going to talk about a couple sports topics. First one being our own local Syracuse men's basketball team, which we recorded this video the day before the sanctions were announced last week, so we weren't able really to get into it. But now that we know what happened, the NCAA dropped the bomb, has put Syracuse on double secret probation, as they would say in the classic Animal House. We're dealing with the fallout from that. And Robert, I'll let you go first. What would you like to, what do you want to bring up about the Syracuse probation and scandal, if you want to call it that?
All I'm going to say is that, the way that fans have reacted to this, I get the defense of Boeheim, I get the defense of the university, the program, whatever, but, are we that ignorant to not say, these people need to be held accountable? Mm-hmm. This is say what you will, but it is an academic institution first and foremost, and that's the priority when you're in there. And the way the rules work, if you're looking at it from the basketball perspective, the NBA mandates that you got to go to college for 1 year. Mm-hmm. You need to be 19 to be in the draft, so that for most that means that they have to go to college. And so you have to go do that experience, and if that's not working, if these programs, Syracuse in this example, aren't getting the job done, then something needs to be fixed and someone needs to be held accountable. And look, this is the second time a Boeheim-led program has been sanctioned. The first time it was over recruiting violations, and there's a quote that sticks out to me from the New York Times story on this in '92 that said, the coach, and I'm paraphrasing, the coach needed to have more oversight over what's going on. Well, guess what? They're saying the same thing 23 years later. And
we can debate whether, the whole NCAA, whether, guys that clearly would not be going to college if they didn't play basketball. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? And everybody's meant to go to college. There's nothing wrong with not going to college. A lot of successful people didn't go to college, okay? That's fine. But the point we're trying to make here is that if you're going to go to a college like Syracuse or any major Division I school, you're expected to do your coursework. You're expected to matriculate, so to speak. You're expected to make progress towards getting a degree. Now, whether you get your degree or not is another thing, but you're supposed to at least be passing your classes to remain eligible. And this whole, and Robert and I kind of briefly discussed it, this whole, and Syracuse.com is the place that broke this story, that they had a meeting of athletic department officials led by Dr. Darrell Gross, who's the Syracuse athletic director, as a way of trying to keep Fab Melo eligible for the NCAAs. That's kind of, I would say it's scary, but it's just, it's what's wrong with college sports. Because obviously Fab Melo, he's from Brazil. I don't know whether English is his first language, okay? And a lot of foreign athletes come to America to play college sports and many different sports besides basketball. So who knows if this guy English is his first language, he's struggling because of language, who knows what. But the thing is, though, basically there was a group of people that got together and they said, what do we have to do to get this guy eligible? And that scares me, because that's really, college sports should not be about like, hey, what should we do to keep this guy eligible? And there's the problem. And as for Boeheim, again, I wrote this in my column last week. I don't think he's trying to gain a competitive advantage. Look, the guy is honest as the day is long when it comes to competing on the basketball court. But like you said, he did not keep tabs on his program well enough. And a friend of mine who is a former Division I basketball coach, Mary Warner, she coached SUNY Albany, my alma mater, and she coached them from a Division III program into a Division I program. And I asked her, I said, how difficult is it to keep oversight of your program as a Division I coach? And obviously there's a big difference between Albany women and Syracuse men's, a huge difference. But the principles are still the same. The rules are still the same that you have to follow. And she said that you have all these people, compliance officers and other officials, it's their job to make sure that you're following the rules. Okay? Obviously, the people that Boeheim had doing some of these things weren't doing that. And obviously, it's up to Boeheim, is the head coach of the program, to make sure that the rules are being followed, that he's talking to these compliance officers and other athletic department officials on a somewhat regular basis. And maybe he did, maybe he was lied to for all we know. Okay? Again, I'm not trying to pass the buck for Jim Boeheim, okay? He'll admit when he's wrong, begrudgingly sometimes. But again, this has been a bad week for Syracuse. They've national attention that you don't want. And I think some of it is fair. I think some of it's unfair, okay? Because like I said, you might have some people that are hiding the truth from you, and you can't do anything about that. But I want to think that this guy has been coaching Division I basketball now for about 40 years, that he knows what he has to do. He knows the rules, and he knows what he has to do to make sure that the rules are being followed by all employees of his program. So, like I said, you feel bad for fans because they enjoy this time of year. And Jeff DeVeronica, Rochester sports writer who covers Syracuse, tweeted earlier that it doesn't seem to be much interest in the ACC tournament this week. Yeah. Of course, because Syracuse isn't playing it. Nobody really around here cares about the ACC tournament. I would beg to say there's probably more people care more about the Big East tournament that's going on without Syracuse than the ACC tournament because of the familiarity with Villanova and St. John's and those teams. So, it's sad. I think that Syracuse will overcome this. They got a great recruiting class coming in. I think the steps will be taken if they've already been taken. I think they have to fix these things, and I think we'll move on. And Syracuse will learn a very hard lesson from all this. Anything else you want to add?
No, just to say that I think, I know that there has been some national columnists out there that have said, fire Boeheim, get rid of Boeheim, should resign. I don't think he should resign. I don't see any merit in telling this guy, you must step down or firing him or whatever. I think he's a fantastic coach and he should leave on his own terms. But that being said, as a fan, and I'm a fan just like you're a fan and like a lot of people are fans, I'm not one of these people that sits back and says, the university, this is a witch hunt by the NCAA and the university didn't do anything wrong. This is the NCAA screwing them over. No. Boeheim needs to have better control over its program. The university needs to get its stuff in order and go from there.
Okay. We're going to talk next about NFL free agency. Yes, nothing better than talking about the NFL in March. Think about it. It'll be 6 months from this weekend, I think, that the season starts.
Yeah.
6 months.
And it was about 6 months ago that last season started.
Right. So we're 6 months away from any games, but here we are talking about the NFL like there are games this weekend. Because, as we all know, in the NFL offseason, you still have a winner and a loser. Okay.
So where are the Dolphins?
I think I want to say we're winners because obviously getting the Ndamukong Suh, the prize of the free agent class, notice I can say his name pretty well now.
Just say Sue. Everyone knows what you're talking
about. Ndamukong Suh. I'm going to keep saying it. Ndamukong Suh. There we go. But the fact that he is the prize of free agency, but at what cost? And being a Dolphins fan, obviously we've cut a lot of people. Hartline and Jared Godric went as a free agent to Jacksonville. Gibson let go, signed by the Patriots, and of course, it's just another defensive lineman whose name I'm losing here for a second here, and they let him go too. So it's kind of sad to see all these guys go. And you lose some of your depth, but then again, you get a guy that obviously is going to make them a better defense, and that's ultimately, at the end of the day, what you're trying to do. Offensively, they need another wide receiver. There's still a lot of holes to fill on this team. Cornerback, safety, offensive line depth. There's a lot of holes left to be filled. But the thing is, now the Dolphins have basically put all their eggs in the Ndamukong Suh basket. They're going to have to fill these holes with the draft, and it's tough for young players to come in and be solid starters in their rookie years. It's going to be very difficult, especially outside the first couple rounds. Anybody picking the third round on, you're not really expecting to be a starter from day one and be a very good starter. It's very rare when that happens. So the Dolphins are going to have their work cut out for them. Obviously, New England is still the class of the AFC East. I would say Miami is probably number 2. I would say the Bills are a very close third. Obviously, the Bills have a quarterback issue, as we continue to know that. And then the Jets, I think, are right there. I think obviously the Jets getting Revis is huge, they're going to be better, no doubt about it. But I think I could see the Patriots winning 13 games the Dolphins winning maybe 9 games, and then the Bills and the Jets each winning about 8 games. I think you could say the AFC East is the best division in football right now. I think you can say that.
I don't think so.
I think you do. I think if you look at the players that have changed, because what did we used to say? The NFC West was the best division in football?
Still is.
I don't think so. The Niners are not the Niners they were a year ago. They've slipped.
You still got Seattle.
Seattle and Arizona.
Still got Arizona.
And are the Rams
as good?
good?
Rams with Nick Foles. They have a quarterback.
Come on.
They have a quarterback.
They have a healthy quarterback, and that's about it. I'm still not sold on Foles.
That team's
but
good.
I think pound for pound, the AFC East is the best division in football. But just an opinion, just throwing it out there.
They're making improvements.
Right, and obviously we have the draft. We have the draft. There's so much time to look. We got 6 months.
I mean, one thing to point out with the Patriots is that, and this has been kind of lost because the Dolphins have been busy, the Bills have been busy, the Jets just signed Revis and Cromartie.
Yeah.
But to tie that in, Revis was one of the starting corners in New England last year. The other starting corner, Brandon Browner, signed with the Saints. Yeah. So they're without their 2 starting corners. And those 2 are very good corners. I mean, you're talking about top 10 or 15 guys in the league. So, it's going to be interesting 2015, I think. I mean, the Dolphins' defensive line looks a lot better now that Sue is in there. With the Jets, they've shored up their secondary, which was a weakness last year. And you've got the Bills who, they brought in LaShawn McCoy, Matt Castle, Jerome Felton,
and they might get Charles Clay.
Who knows? Yeah. I mean, they've been busy too. Richie Incognito, got to throw him in there. So, Chris's favorite player.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I think as long as the Bills and Jets do not have solid starting quarterbacks, they're going to be way behind the Patriots. And look, there really is. It's not rocket science. As long as the Patriots have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Obviously, you got to give Belichick the majority of the credit off the field. But as long as Brady and Belichick are in New England, they are going to be a playoff team. You might as well give them the division right now. And until one of the other 3 teams gets a great quarterback, an all-pro quarterback, which neither of them I think have had in a long time, it's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to knock the Patriots off the top of the AFC East. Simple as that. So
here's what I'll say about the Bills situation. You have not counting Taylor they just brought in and Jeff Toole, but you have E.J. Manuel and Matt Castle. Yeah. Manuel, in his defense, hasn't really gotten a shot. He hasn't played a full season of NFL football. He was injured his first year, played 9 or 10 games. Last year, we know what happened. He played the first 4, then got benched. They decided, Doug Marrone decided that he wanted to make the playoffs now. He called on Kyle Orton. We know how that turned out. So this is a guy who hasn't really had a shot to play a full NFL season because of coaching decisions and injury. So I'll be curious to see how he responds. Matt Castle comes in. Castle hasn't been great for the last 4 or 5 years, but he's also been in a backup role. If you look at what he did in 08 and 10 with New England and Kansas City, respectively, he was a good quarterback. He put up good numbers and led them to, I think, both teams at least to winning records, maybe the playoffs. It's interesting. I mean, the Bills can make the playoffs with this team, even with average quarterback play. Now, what you do in the playoffs.
Well, yeah,
that's a whole different story.
And it is, and I think I think really the playoffs is where your quarterback really is the key because again, I think you need a guy who can make plays, who can carry your team, and that's the Peyton Mannings and the Russell Wilsons and the Tom Brady's and the Drew Breeses. I mean, look, these guys don't get the big bucks for nothing. I mean, they are proven that they can carry a team, and in the playoffs is when you need it. So. Robert, anything else you want about NFL free agency? I know we got some other changes going. Maybe DeMarco Murray might be going to the Eagles, it looks like. And, who knows what else could happen. It's amazing the NFL can be this huge in March. 6 months away. 6 months to the first. We don't even know the schedule yet.
Don't they map out their calendar in such a masterful way?
Oh, yeah. Like once a month there's something going on.
Think about it. I mean, this is their free agency period,
right.
So it's hot right now. It'll,
right.
It might lose some steam going into next week. But then,
April's
you turn the calendar to April.
Draft.
The last day of the month's the draft.
And then it goes into May.
And then
And then we go to OTAs.
Yeah. And then, you're talking mid-July.
Yeah.
Training camp.
Really, there's only 1 month that there's no NFL, and it's basically from mid-June to mid-July. It's just, I'm sorry, I love the NFL. I mean, I've been watching NFL games since I was 6 years old. I live and die for NFL Sundays. I love it so much. My favorite sport of all time, okay? But even I admit, I think we need a break. I really do. I think the NFL is too much can ruin it. Too much, you know the old saying, too much of a good thing. I'm serious. I really think that if the NFL needs to start letting up a little bit and not shoving themselves in our faces. And I know we can walk away. We don't have to pay attention to it. But I just think that they could do some things where, we could have the draft at the end of March. Really, we don't need until the end of April to have the draft. The draft could be at the end of March. You could have free agency in the draft all in March, and then have no NFL to talk up all of April, all of May, all of June. Have a real offseason where really there's nothing going on for 3 months. But no, the NFL won't do that.
Yeah, I will say I don't like the later draft. I wish it was earlier.
Yeah.
I remember, when it was the first weekend in April, and, that seemed like enough.
Yeah.
You have the draft in early April, it's done. Yeah. You don't really have anything between then and training camp that gets your attention. And so, you go for a few months anyway without any, real headline-grabbing NFL stuff, which is great. It gives some time for other sports. But now the NFL is such a monopoly on the coverage. It's amazing. And, that's why they get attention for things like the signing period and combine and draft and so on.
Anything else you want to add, Robert?
I'm done.
All right. Well, I'm going to add one more little thing.
I'm out of air.
I'm going to add one more thing. On Saturday, which is March the 14th. Yes, here we my alma mater, the University of Albany Great Danes, takes on Stony Brook, SUNY Stony Brook, or the University of Stony Brook, or Stony Brook University, whatever you want to call it, in the America East Conference Championship for the men's. And if they win, Albany wins, they get another NCAA tourney bid. I'm hoping they win. I'll be watching the game on ESPN2.
The greatest
ESPN2. I love my alma mater. I really enjoying what they've done the last few weeks, and all I can say is go Danes. And the women's team, they play for their conference title against Hartford on Friday afternoon.
Wow, we could
4:30.
have a double dose.
4:30 for the second year in a row, by the way. 4:30 against Hartford on that game is on ESPNU. Hopefully the women can win too. And if you're a SUNY Albany grad like me, go Danes. Let's get both our teams back to the NCAAs for a second straight year. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks.